Hey guys, it's Ndoplex and welcome back to World of Tanks. Today I've got a really fun game for you guys in the Tier 7 Italian medium tank, the P43 ter. Now, the reason I'm going to feature this replay is it's a pretty good game, but the reason it's going to be featured today is our P43 ter is totally stock. We have only just unlocked this vehicle. We haven't got any modules on it at all. We've got the stock gun here with 140 millimeters of penetration and the stock turret putting our health at 1000. But luckily, we are in a really good matchup today here on Paris with only 4 tier 7 tanks. I'm playing here with my buddy Ball on Head. He's a friend of mine, and we're going to have an absolutely brilliant game here today on Paris. So I see a lot of my team. We've got loads of tank destroyers. They're all heading up to the north side of the map. And I think best thing to do for me probably is going to try and play a pseudo heavy. We're a top tier medium tank in the game today, and essentially we're going to end up having a similar sort of armor to a heavy tank. This tank's not got a great deal of armor, but it's not terrible. You can pull off a few miracle bounces here and there. And it's a weird one with tier 7s because it's always before you get to anything good. No tier 7s, in my opinion, are really very good. They are just all a little bit average. So I'm going to come around this corner and have a little look. I get spotted and we get shot there by the AMX AC-46, which tells me he's in that sort of top left location about E3. And so I want to be careful going around that corner. Put a shot into the Staghound as he's in front of us. Bounce one of his shells, and he is invisible, still shooting us. So I think it's probably worth here putting a blind shot in. Unfortunately, nothing comes of it. And there you go. The Staghound makes a run for the right-hand side. And we can't follow him around that corner because we know that their tier 7 tank destroyer is sat there up at the E3 position, as he should be, covering that angle. And so I don't really feel comfortable coming around and trying to fight him. I see the Staghound coming around to the right-hand side, so I think if I turn around and aim, just in case he tries to make a hero run back to his side of the map, hopefully our VK is going to be able to shut him down, but just in case, I'm ready. There you go. Our VK shuts him down, so I feel a little bit safer from behind, not going to get caught out of position. We see our KV-1 is pushing up on the bottom left. He's got an SU-152 in front of him around the corner, so he's probably not going to make it much further. And we can see the T-34-100, their other top tier tank, is at the back of the map in a similar sort of spot as the AMX is in. So just gonna play the waiting game for the minute. I don't really feel comfortable walking out in front of those guns. I've got terrible view range at the minute in this stock tank with a terrible crew. And so there's no way I'm ever going to be able to spot these guys without them spotting me first. So you can see me pinging the map on the E3 and E4 location, just hoping that someone on our team is going to be able to get vision. And there you go, the VK3002M pops out and heads up towards the middle and gets shot by the AMX, but that reveals the AMX's position. And we aim. There you go, we put a shot into his tracks, tracked him there, and it doesn't seem like he's got a repair kit. So we are just going to take advantage of this situation and keep putting shots into his tracks to keep him tracked there, locked down. And the weak side armor of the MX AC means a very easy penetration for us. We're getting hit by the KV-1, I say, but it's well worth the risk of taking a shot from that small tier 5 tank to shut down their tier 7 French tank destroyer, all 900 of his hit points. Unfortunately, our VK3002M dies in the process, but I think that was a pretty worthwhile trade for us, taking that big, scary tank destroyer out of the game. Now, I see my KV-1 and the Strub 74 still locked down by this SU-152, and this KV-1 has been doing an absolutely stellar job keeping this SU-152 at bay. He's a tier 5 tank up against a tier 7 tank destroyer, and we all know that gun's big 152 high explosive gun. It could quite easily one-shot that KV-1 if he rolls well with the penetration. So I'm thinking he might be aiming at me. I don't really want to stay around that location for very long, so I'm just going to take some real chancy peek shots. But the terrible aim time and accuracy of this stock gun is really not doing any good. The T-34-100 comes around the corner. We managed to put a shot into him and dodge his shot in return. And he gets a little bit greedy coming around the corner again. Unfortunately, our gun depression fails us because on this stock turret as well, the gun depression is terrible. Just nothing about this tank stock is any good. And I see the Panzer IV H on the right-hand side here, trying to feather a shot into the T-34-100. Unfortunately, the shot whiffs into the wall, and we don't manage to get him there. And Christ, there it is, 746 damage. That Struv just got hit by the Su-152's gun. You see me wiggle my gun a little bit because it's just frustrating that I'm not able to connect any of these shells with this terrible accuracy on this gun. I see the Panzer IV H shuts down our Struv, and he's going to get behind us. We're in a terrible situation now, down by 2,500 life points and 5 kills, and so we need to really start cleaning up some enemies. Managed to put one shot into the Panzer IV H. The KV-1 manages to put a shot in, distract the Panzer IV H. I go around, and there you go. We managed to shut down the Panzer IV H, and our KV-1 is still holding the flank. But no, the KV-1 SA and a KV-1 sat on that corner. Luckily, we bounced them both and put a clutch shot in to the KV-1 SA. And I see our KV-1 asking for help. I'm a little bit worried because if he falls, the Su-152 is going to come straight around the corner to us, and this game's not going to last much longer. So, aiming. Unfortunately, it misses. I'm a bit worried about sitting in front of his gun for too long because that will spell disaster for me. So I just am going to keep calm. There you go. We put one shot into him, leaving the Su-152 on an absolute one shot. And luckily, because of that, he decides to back off, giving our KV-1 a little bit more breathing room. So I think KV-1 should be safe now. Let's try and put some pressure on the enemy KV-1 and the enemy KV-1 SA. I just creep up into the bush, see the KV-1, aiming, and this is a tier 7 medium tank, unable to go through the lower plate of a tier 5 heavy tank. And same again, unable to go through the plate. What a terrible gun this is. But we are up to 2,500 damage in this game, and that's a damage number I'd be very happy with in this sort of matchup regardless. But we're going to have a little bit more to come, hopefully. So I'm trying to push the wreck of the Panzer IV out the way a little bit and try and get some shots into these tier 5 tanks. Luckily, this gun is quite punchy with the 240 alpha damage. So as long as we're able to land a few shots, we can actually start to chip away at these tier 5 tanks very quickly. They're quite content to aim at me. I'm hulled down here against them. I'm not too worried about getting penned. I've still got half of my hit points remaining. And so I'm just using the wreck of this Panzer IV to be able to take out these tier 5 heavy tanks. Buddy of mine in the Super Hellcat manages to shut down 2 of the enemies. And there you go. It's neck and neck. And now we're up on tanks and up on HP. What a turnaround in this game. And a super shout out to that KV-1. I stick it down there in the chat. Well played, KV-1, because he single-handedly held off 2 tier 7 tanks and a couple of tier 6 and 5 tanks as well. Absolutely amazing play by the KV-1 on our team there, allowing us to farm up on these lower tier tanks, putting us up to 3,700 damage. I see the Achilles on the left, and at this point in the game, it's time to use some of those hit points that I've held onto just to try and secure some more damage in this game. The Achilles is firing APCR at us. Okay, fair enough. He shouldn't really need it to go through our tank, but that's fair if he... And with our superior alpha damage, I think it's well worth us trying to trade into the Achilles here. He's going to hit us for 160, but we're going to hit him for over 240. The MX is coming around the corner really quickly. I'm going to track him on the way round, spinning his tank round. The Super Hellcat puts a nice shot into the side of him. The AMX wants to continue with his autoloader. I managed to put another shot into him to shut him down, putting us up to 4,500 combined damage in this game, and 430 damage blocked by our fragile Italian medium tank. And wow, what a result. So in the stock P43 ter, what an absolute slam dunk we had in this game. We managed to get a Confederate medal for hitting at least 6 enemies that our team subsequently killed, a steel wall medal, and a high caliber medal in the P43 ter, which is one of the most lightly armored tanks in the game. But in a tier 5 matchup, you're still able to sometimes pull off those miracles. We got an ace tanker for this gameplay and made 44,000 credits with a premium count, putting in 4,300 damage there. 29 shots fired, 21 hit due to the poor accuracy on this gun. And there you go. we got a base experience of 1,500 XP in this game, and the KV1 put in a super game with 4 kills and over 1,000 damage, but just managing to lock down and keep those big scary enemy tanks in the form of the SU and the T-34 100, managed to keep them both at bay and stop them being able to push around the corner, which just gave us a lot of breathing room to be able to work and farm up this game. So there it is. I just wanted to share it with you guys just because I know firsthand how painful it is to be playing stock tanks. Some of the most miserable times in World of Tanks you'll have is when you're playing these stock tanks, but sometimes you manage to get these miracles that pop out of the rough and you get a good game in a stock tank, and this allows you to propel your XP gains really high. And if we use a multiplier on this XP, which I'm sure I did at the time, it'll allow us to unlock maybe like 2 of the modules on the tank in a single game, which is just so helpful to get you off and up to the better modules on these tanks. Anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to leave a like, and I will hope to see you in the next one. Take it easy. Goodbye.